All right, hey, what's going on, missioners? Okay, so um, a question, no, a statement was proposed to me for the second time when I was cooking food, and this is how I know I'm in a different place in my life. I know I disagreed with him, and you know it's crazy. The first time I agreed, the second time I disagreed. He said you left your parents' house too early, and this is going to be called comfort and message to young people or millennials. I said no. I didn't leave my parents' house too early because I'm 26 now. And I think about that question and I say, how long am I supposed to stay at my parents' house? And what are they supposed to teach me that's so uh, game proposing? Because for the most part, all my parents are doing and have done, all they've accomplished is they've been paying bills longer than me. Um, they haven't, for me, my parents haven't accomplished nothing spectacular that I want to replicate. Have my do you know what's crazy? I would also say it like this: do me and my parents have things in common? Yes, but have they accomplished something that I care for? No. So with that being said, and that's not no shame to them, it's just reality. And part of growing up is you have to live in the reality of the fact of your parents and what they did and did not do for you. Because, and what they will and will not do for you. Because if you don't understand that, you never grow up, especially in your 20s. You have to understand what they're gonna do and do not do, and what they will and will not do, and the differences. What they do and do not do, meaning what they have done, meaning they're or doing, bringing results into your life in a positive or negative manner, currently and consistently, and what they're not gonna do, which is very obvious, of what they're just ain't doing. They ain't doing it. And then you have what they will and will not do, meaning the future, meaning what they're working on and building towards, with you or by themselves. And you have to ask yourself, is that something I want to be a part of? And at the time when my parents was like doing this real estate thing, I said this is not something I wanted to be a part of, because this is your want, but not my obsession. And when my dad tried to like bring me into this thing, and it was a good deal, whatever. But I realized I had a conflict because I said I had this vision of being an internet marketer, and this conflicted with my internet marketing because it's not something I wanted to do at this current moment. And I had this inner battle within myself to say, okay, cool, I'm doing this, but how is this helping me right now? Because I gotta pay to get in this shit, or I gotta have money or whatever. And I just don't care to do this right now. I'm not gonna put my 100% into this. So last minute I backed out, which is wrong, but last minute I backed out and I didn't want to do it. Because it did not feed my obsession of being on the internet. And I thought to myself, as my roommate said this statement, I could have checked him, I could have been real petty, but he's a kind but petty guy. So I'm not gonna go out my way and disrespect him. because there's no need. I just don't care for him like that. His opinion doesn't matter that much to me. But I thought to myself, here's how I know I'm in a different space in my life. Here's how you know you did not leave your parents' house too early. Here's my message to millennials. You have a vision, plan, and goals for your life. If you leave the door of your parents and you have those three things, a vision, a plan, and goals for your life that you're going to stick to, you should be fine. No matter how hard the times come, you should be fine. If you don't have those things, sit your ass down and don't leave your parents' house. Because you're going to allow this world to define you. Beautiful full moon in Scorpio. This world, the outside world, will define you because you don't have no goals. One of the reasons, like, I was okay sleeping on the floor, sleeping in banks, eating out the garbage, being homeless, not having much, and still putting in the work, is because I had a plan, I had a vision, and I had goals for myself. And I would add to that now, as this comes to mind, you need to have a positive obsession. And I would say start with a positive financial obsession, especially for men, because the worst thing you want to do is feed the side of your sexual hunger as a man that makes pussy the purpose of your life. Let me repeat that again. You don't want to be in a position where you want to be in a position where you have a positive obsession for your life, because you don't want pussy to be the purpose of your life. Because pussy is not the purpose of my life, it makes me a lot stronger than most men, my age at least. Because most men right now are wrapped up in pussy, kids, children, all that stuff. So somebody defines them, and you call them dad, you call them all of these things. Nothing wrong with that. But much like the richest man in Babylon, and I really need to read that book. He said, these two men came to him and said, "Why are you rich? And we came from the same schools, we came from the same train of thought, the same environment, the same community, etc., etc." He answered, "Because I decided to get rich. I decided to become wealthy. Not that your decisions is bad to start a family, get a job, do average stuff. But I reflected on it as a Scorpio told me to read this book one time. And I said, he is me. The reason why in my late 20s, early 30s, 40s, and 50s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, and somewhat even early 40s, people will look at me and say, why are you rich and not us? And we came from the same place. It's because I decided to sacrifice myself and sacrifice fun of a regular, normal 20-year-old and said, I will get wealthy. So, like the Bible says, without a vision, a man shall perish. And in the words of Baba Dr. Miles Monroe, God bless his soul, he said, Baba said, perish does not mean die. It means undisciplined. So because perish does not mean die, it means undisciplined. It means you will have an undisciplined life, scattered life, if you don't have a vision. One of the reasons why what my roommate said I don't give a fuck about what he said, is because the stuff he's telling me about, I could pay someone to do eventually. I'm gonna make more than his salary, too. 3, he lives in a room and he's almost 50 years old. 4, I'm gonna give you this principle, and don't miss the wisdom because you're looking at the physical practicality. He was telling me because it smelled burnt. You smell the burning of chicken, or the cooking of chicken, in my opinion. And he said the oil that I had, which was like a spray oil, which is pretty good, in my opinion. It works. He said, you got to get oil when it comes, vegetable oil, when it comes to this chicken. And he said, and he kept debating something with me that was wrong. And he said, the chicken does not come out fully cooked. And I said, that's false, because even today, the chicken came out cooked fully. No red stuff, no none of that. And not only was he wrong, but I said to myself as I was walking here today, his advice is worthless to me, because when I did it my way, the chicken came out how I wanted it to come out. So, much like my parents, if my life turns out the way I want it to turn out, their advice for me was wrong. So, the spiritual wisdom in what I'm telling you is, if life panned it out according to your vision, whoever disagrees with you is wrong. And here's what I mean by wrong. It's not giving you the results according to your vision. So, is what he's saying wrong about you should have oil and you should cook it low and all this other stuff, which it was on like medium? No. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. But when he said you left your parents' house too early because you don't know how to put chicken on the frying pan, that doesn't relate to me, because again, I did it my way and I still got out to the result I wanted, not what they wanted or he wanted, much like as a representative of what he kept telling me. And again, he be saying stuff that's petty, but I learned from. And after a while, it will get on my nerves, and I will have to like really, really check it at the door, because I didn't ask him for his opinion. And if I said, if the house is not on fire, if you just smell chicken burning or cooking, it ain't none of your business. But again, because I'm open to learning, and he said something that he said, your parents are older than you. The teacher will never be better than the student. And again, that's another falsehood, because your parents, if they don't have, it is two things. If they don't have the results of the life you want, or they're not the type of man or woman that you want to be, why is what they're saying solid to you? And I learned that a long time ago with my dad, especially. He wasn't the type of man that I wanted to be. Is he an evil guy? No. But I looked at his life and I said, nah, I don't really want that. Nah, I mean, he's cool. He did a good job. He's pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? But he don't have what I want. So therefore, his opinion is quite irrelevant to me. Again, like I said earlier about my roommate, does that mean you can't learn from him? No. But should you be taking all the advice in the world from him? No. Should you take everything he say to heart? No. Because that's without discernment. You feel me? So my father always used to say I was a son of judgment or discernment. And I was like, and that's my thing. I'm a judgment-based guy. So I'm like, yo, when you judge that, you like, yo, what are you really talking about for real? And you also ask, what results is that really bringing me? And I knew I was done at my parents' house because they were no longer helping me align with my vision, goals, and plan. So my time there was up. And like I said earlier, they're not feeding my obsession. So really, in that last part, is really the north node of mine in Scorpio. They're not feeding my obsession. So my time is up to go. So I want to tell you, millennials, that get a plan, vision, goals, or positive, especially for men, positive financial obsession as early as possible. Because the later you get it, the longer, the more true what my roommate's advice to you would be correct. It's a fallacy if you have your own vision, goals, discipline, plan, habits, and this is just a little bit more detailed. Research, and you're creating your own life. Because essentially that's all your parents did. They created their own lives. So don't think that your parents have something more special than you do. Does that mean you can't learn from your parents? You can't study and understand your parents? No. But you must act in discernment and say, is my mom the type of woman I want to be? Is my dad the man I want to be? Do my parents have the marriage I want? You must be of discernment and proper judgment, because if you do not have that, you'll fuck around talking about, oh, my parents were this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 and they were not shit. Okay? And you must honor the fact that they are who they are, why you picked them, what lessons you came to learn from them, because that's one of the things you must understand. What are the lessons you came to learn from them? And keep it the fuck pushing. Because 90% of the time, especially if you black, they are not going to really assist you in carrying out your vision. Some of us are fortunate to have parents who support us in those things. Some of us, or a lot of us, or a good amount of us are not, especially if our parents don't understand what vision, so I'm just checking my surroundings, are, what visions we have that they don't understand. So, yeah,